We're here to talk about the value of men who mother. I was going to talk to you about how we set up. I was thinking of talking to you about how we support dads specifically, but I think we're moving on. We're looking at different areas now, and I thought I'd bring in an area that we're looking into where we're exploring supporting dads. And I'll use this as a bit of a focus group for you, if that's okay, so you can give me your ideas as well. So the aim is to share how creating resources for stay-at-home dads can help more fathers take up parental leave. And I also use this to reflect on knowledge gained over the past 12 years working with dads. I can't tell you how I was feeling at this stage. I think this was about 5 days in. My own journey into fatherhood began by moving into a new city in West Yorkshire. I had to make lots of friends. I didn't have my own family nearby. I wasn't in touch with any other families either. I had lots of drinking pals, but I didn't have that many family pals. It wasn't really on my radar at the time. And you can see some of the emotions in my face at this time. What do you think new dads' first thoughts are when they learn they're going to be a dad and they're becoming a dad? Any thoughts, anyone? Amy, Gordon, what do you think?
Panic.
Panic.
Possibly a bit isolated as well. Not because they've not maybe also got that bond that the moms had because they've had the baby in the tummy for a while. So there's that kind of new kind of bonding that's needing to start and that attachment.
Absolutely. Any other thoughts?
I was thinking excited and scared, and also I didn't realise this was going to be interactive, Errol. I thought you were presenting to us. This feels like work now.
Of course it's work. Of course it's work. Otherwise, you're not going to get any more biscuits. I think the two key emotions were, as everyone has said so far, excitement and fear. Felt a need for family support that wasn't there. Felt isolated from family, and my wife had done the smart thing and started talking to her friends who were already parents and had started to get ideas and tips and build connections. And I didn't do any of that. And it hurt. It left me feeling away from everything and everyone and looking for somewhere to go or someone to be with. There aren't many places. We're still not seeing a swell of dads groups in Britain. Dads are incredibly underserved. You can still find events for dads and kids in community centres, church halls, and there's also a provision by some children's centres. However, local authorities have had that reduced due to the financial crisis that we've endured over the last decade or so. Of course, there are other organisations, Dad Matters and the Incredible Dads Rock, but they are still very few and far between. So coming up today, Leeds Dads. We've gained so much over the years. We've gained lots of local awards. A National Diversity Award nomination last week. The Princess of Wales said that what we're doing is extraordinary. We're putting children at the heart of families and communities, and to get acknowledgement like that, it's really positive. Our sessions are weekly. They're in different locations around the city. 25 to 30 dads attend each group. There's always a couple of new dads, and what feels like 147,000 kids. It might be a soft play, it might be a breakfast club, or it could be something as basic as a dads and kids walk. I do call it basic because there's nothing to it. You get together, we'll push the prams or walk in a set loop for an hour, and we end up with free ice cream at the end of it. And you won't believe how much dads open up, how much they talk about how they feel, about their relationships, about their own concerns, insecurities, about what they're enjoying as well, their strengths. I guess it's the idea of being alongside someone, so you're not face to face, and by doing that, you're able to drop the boundaries, drop the barriers, and find out a little bit more about how people are feeling. And there's also a private weekly online chat to encourage dads to share. It's called the evening session, and dads openly discuss challenging, difficult, or sensitive topics without judgment. We said we'd do this on video, it didn't work, so we tried to do it on WhatsApp, and it's just too much random chat. So we went to a private space, which was a Facebook private group, and we found that dads were happy to talk just on text, and some of them we'd explore sort of different platforms, and they said no. I could be sitting next to my wife, my partner, and talking about something quite important, and not bother her, and she doesn't know, and we're still both watching TV. So it allows a lot of flexibility, and we get, say, 10, 12 dads chatting, and there'd be like 60 dads in the group watching, picking up on what's being said. A lot of, I think it's called lurkers. Is it lurkers on social media? They watch what's being said. They don't have to talk. They don't want to talk. They want to know that other people are talking. So sometimes you can feel that you're giving everything to get people to open up, and it's just being part of the conversation that is key for them. What do we want to do? What's it all about? Well, our aims are pretty basic. It's to promote the well-being of children in Leeds. We use the UNESCO's first 1,000 days concept, that idea of the first 1,000 days being when the brain is evolving, the brain of the child is evolving at the fastest, all the neurons are firing off, and they're learning the most. If you can help children to be secure and nurtured throughout that time, then they can develop very well. And there's also play therapy that we're evolving with Leeds Beckett University, where we're learning different ways to play and use that as a way of the dads picking up tools. Just simple stuff sometimes, you know, peekaboo, you know, I'm gone now, but I'm back soon. I'm here. So, but I've gone away for a few months, but I'm back, and I'll always come back, and helping children to feel more secure, building attachment to the children. And also we provide peer support from the fellow dads. So we don't say this is how to be a dad, but we will allow other dads to watch, to pick up on the tips and ideas, and hopefully that gives them the basics of what they need to be able to support dads. For example, we had one dad who would come session after session, and his 18-month-old would be at his knees trying to climb up, and he'd be watching all the other dads, and the dads would be on the floor, and the kids would be climbing and clambering over them, and he'd be watching. And this went on for weeks, and everything in me saying, "Get on the floor, man! Just get on the floor!" And it didn't happen until one day, in his own time, he came in and he just sat down on the floor straight away, and his child climbed into his lap, and I thought, "Oh gosh, you know, you've seen it, you've got it." We don't know where dads are coming from. Sometimes they explain their backgrounds, so we have to take them as they are. And that can be difficult. That can be very difficult. Oh, before I go on, let me ask a question. You've seen a couple of pictures here, more work. Who do you think Leeds Dads are? Who's coming? What kind of dads do you think go to a dad's group? Will Muir, sorry. Who do you think comes to Leeds Dads?
Actually, probably a mix of dads. Dads
Yeah.
from all walks of life.
Dads from right across the board.
Yeah, yeah. So maybe new dads or yeah, I'd say a mix of dads.
Yeah, it looks like you've got quite an age range there as well.
Interesting, nice observation, Gordon. Lisa, who do you think comes to Leeds Dads?
Probably dads who are looking for a bit of support and friendship, but maybe not the dads who would really benefit and are maybe at the stage where they're so isolated.
Yeah, that's a point.
I'm thinking dads that don't necessarily live with their children.
All pretty accurate. Dads who come include middle-class dads. They're busy blue-collar workers. They're aware of the importance of spending time with their kids. So they're the ones that come through first. They've read up, talk about bonding. They understand attachment, but that doesn't mean that they all value their time with their kids. But they do know the importance of it. There's a growing number of dads coming from working-class backgrounds. I feel that they value the group more than the others. Maybe it's something different to their experience of parenting or being parented. Many shared that their upbringing involved poverty in the childhood home, possible abuse, possible violence, and they were looking for something more fulfilling. So it's that age-old ideal of, you know, I want my kids to have a better life than me. A large number of separated dads. They use the group to spend time with their kids. Maybe they didn't know how else to format their time, so a dad's group would do. Some were focused on giving the kids a really strong bonding experience because they didn't spend the whole week with their children and wanted to maintain that connection. Some said they didn't have other friends with kids, so being in the dad's group normalized being around children for themselves and for their children. And some of the younger ones were still coming round to the idea that they are a father. And maybe the child's 2 years old. Lots of different experiences. There's also the internationals, Spanish, the Italian, the African and Caribbean, the Welsh, definitely Scottish, lots of Scots, Indian, people from home recreating their identity, their network and their families. Actually, this group doesn't need to be from another country. They don't need to be internationals. Just being a long way from home means that the same needs apply. And these needs means that there's no mum down the road to babysit. There's no uncle in town to visit to avoid being isolated with the young children. So these guys have created a new group of people who can help them support the first steps into parenthood. And part of that journey involves Leeds Dads. We do a lot of work with organisations such as Forward Leeds, the alcohol and drug rehabilitation group, children's services in Leeds. There's what is it called? Home Start Leeds, and they all refer dads to the group. So we get them coming to us from the groups that are more in need. Someone was talking about, someone mentioned earlier that we get people looking for support, but maybe not the people who need it most. So we have got a channel for the dads who need it most, and they do come through. Can I ask what sort of dads attend the groups in Scotland? Gordon, please.
Sure. With mine, I'm in Fife. So Fife's quite a large rural area. There's a couple of big towns, but mostly it's very rural in between. A lot of my guys are socially isolated. They're all vulnerable as well. A lot of them have been through the care system. They're first-time dads. I get a lot of referrals from social work and family support services. So they've all got mental health issues. A lot of them are trapped in poverty and don't know where to go, and are basically really, really struggling. A lot of them are first-time dads as well. So they're new to this experience, and if they're care experience, they have no previous experience of how to dad, have no male role model in their life, and now they find that they are the one who's supposed to be the role model. So yeah, I got quite a varied mixed. I don't have any middle class referrals coming in. It's all working class and people trapped in poverty. So that's me. I get a range of I think my youngest is 17, my oldest is 43.
Wow.
So, yeah, and sorry, I should also mention a lot of drugs, alcohol problems as well. Criminal justice. I have quite a lot of work with them. So yeah, quite a good mix.
Yeah, we get dads coming accompanied, should I say, with the children. And it's always a challenge, but we always say that if they're allowed to be with their kids, they're allowed to be in the group, and that's as far as it goes.
Yeah, and we have some who have supported visits only that we can get. I've got a good relationship with Fife Council and social work, so I'm allowed to be that supported worker when they come to groups as well.
Thomas, do you have similar background dads with you?
Sorry?
What sort of background, Thomas? Sorry.
Sorry.
What backgrounds do your dads come from?
For our playgroups, it's quite mixed. I would agree with you, Errol, that because our playgroups are universal, there's a lot of middle-class dads, so men who are comfortable walking into another group of other men, and that's our experience in both Edinburgh and Glasgow for running groups there. I would say we have got quite a high percentage of diversity in our groups, higher certainly than, for example, the Edinburgh average of diversity, which is not very diverse. Yeah. And I think also part of that is because people are looking for networks and people are looking for support. So quite often when you speak to the dads, they'll tell you that they're either just new to Edinburgh or Glasgow, or they don't have much in the way of family support. Another thing that struck me, what you were mentioning earlier, Errol, about lurkers on social media, I think that's been really important over the last couple of years. For all the groups and different things that we do, there's a lot of dads who perhaps aren't as vocal as other dads, but they're still there. And like you, Errol, I know you've got a dad's WhatsApp group, and quite often in our dad's WhatsApp group, you'll get a dad posting and he'll say, this is the first time I've ever posted, but the group's been really useful. So I think people use things now in different ways, don't they? And they kind of watch and take part in what they're comfortable with. But in reference to playgroups, I think it's still true that it's a lot of men who are more comfortable walking into a group, and the perceptions as to how big or small that group is. We don't get a lot of single dads. We don't get a lot of separated dads. There's other services that look after them in Edinburgh and Glasgow. We do get same-sex dads. We get trans dads. So, you know, there's quite a good mix that way, I would say.
We get a lot of same-sex dads, and there's a lot of education that has to go on around the margins of the group to maintain a safe space for those dads. I'd like to say that people come through the door sort of as, you know, evolved and aware individuals. They don't. It's society. I'm being polite here. So fingers crossed, people will evolve as life goes. What we bring is an understanding of the needs of dads and how this can be resolved, especially through peer support, where we encourage dads to share their parental experiences to inspire other dads. And I'm really honoured to know that they do, and they feel confident enough, and they feel proud enough and honest enough to say, you know what, I heard him crying, I didn't want to get up, so I stayed in bed. Or I was out, and it'd be like, this is the first time that I brought my child out on our own. My wife's in the car park, but I'm here on my own. And it's a leap for a lot of dads. After 11 years, 12 years now, supporting dads, we've developed the trust where they feel confident enough to share their concerns, especially in regards to the diverse backgrounds of the dads and the cultures that they come from and what the cultural norms are. For instance, Asian dads, Indian, Pakistani, the culture may not be for the dads to be hands-on, and the dads struggle to maintain that level of engagement. And when they see more mainstream dads with a very high level of engagement, they feel that they're coming up short, and you have to explain it's your culture, it's okay, but you've got an opportunity here to do what you want to do for yourself. We currently have a much higher number of dads seeking relationship support than ever regarding both the parents, both the partners and the children. So I've been mum and dad having issues, mum and kids having issues at all ages. Lisa, that's one for you. And we're constantly seeking different ways to help them to address this. Are we succeeding? I guess our groups promoted positive and physical and mental health for dads across the city through engaging them with activities for them and their children. The idea of the first 1,000 days is our template, our blueprint, it's our roadmap. We also encourage them to value their partners and the caring role. That can be a challenge because we have a WhatsApp group. Lots of different views are shared there. And sometimes, especially when the mums are separated from the dads, or the dads are away from the family home, they may have lots of angry comments to say about the mums. And it's like, look, she's not here to defend herself. We can't have that conversation. So we also try and remind them, you know, you can be a parent on your own, but it's tough. So if you have a relationship, nurture it and cherish it and make it wherever you can. If it's not working, then it's not working, but value it for whatever it is. And the figures are real, that the outcomes are real. For children, much better mental health, more settled in school, better educational outcomes, less likely to be involved in antisocial behaviour. These are all facts. So we know that if the dad is a positive figure in the child's life, whether in the home or not, these outcomes are still very, very much possible. we're in direct contact with over 500 dads a month, many new dads seeking help in terms of signposting, family support, child development, and support with their well-being. As I mentioned, our partners, including local authority, the NHS in Leeds, many of the third sector organisations that support family well-being in the city, refer families to us. My day job is with Leeds Perinatal Service. I'm a partner's peer support. So when the mums are affected by mental health issues around childbirth and pregnancy, I support the partners because a lot of the time it's an illness that just knocks them for six. It's like this mental health issue wasn't in our world, and now it is, and now it's controlling everything we're doing. So there's a lot to be said there. And as much as the mums can be unwell, the stats say it's 50% of the dads will become unwell at the same time. Also mentioned the WhatsApp group with around 200 dads offering support on how to avoid a tsunami shower when changing nappies. You know, stand to the side, stand to the side. How to change a tap, something practical in the home, because a lot of these guys will be home building for the first time. And also just someone to offer support and a chat at that baby feed at 4 in the morning. The amount of times I've seen feeding the baby, it's 3:40. Is anyone else up? Come up in the group, and someone else will say, "Yeah, I'm here. Me too." And that reassurance that you're part of something bigger than just your family, which may be a family of 2 people, not a family of 10 or 12, might be a family of 2 people, 3 people. A lot of the dads tell us that they find that very, very reassuring. What we're looking at now is why all of this is important. And it's important because 1 in 9 stay-at-home parents are fathers, and that's up a third from 1 in 14 in 2019, according to the ONS, the Office of National Statistics. So stay-at-home dads, partly driven by COVID, the numbers are growing exponentially. Between July and September just last year, 141,000 dads didn't have a paid job, stayed home, compared to 105,000 dads in the same period in 2019. So we've had like around 30,000, a jump of 30,000 dads who are now staying at home, out of work, and with children, and we believe them to be sort of looking after their kids. Is it a fluke? No, the Fatherhood Institute says that during the same period, the number of stay-at-home mums dropped by 11%. So the mums are going out, and the dads are actually staying home. The challenge is that mums create informal support groups, go into any Asda cafe or Costa coffee shop, from your house to Morningside, or in Leeds from Seacroft to Headingley, and at 9 o'clock there'll be a group of mums with their babies meeting up, talking about their plans for the week or the last episode of whatever they've been watching. Unfortunately, in 12 years of supporting audio, I found that dads don't do many parenting groups at all. And I really want to see how we can bridge this gap as an organisation. We've evolved, hopefully, as I see it, to be a model for a service or a resource for fathers where a growing number are taking their leave entitlement or starting out on this journey of shared parental leave. And although it's argued that we should be looking at an integrated service for women, safe space for men is important too, somewhere they can learn to care for the children using observational learning without judgment, which is the key element, and through their peers. We find that with mums, there can be a lot more judgment involved. People will watch and make comments, whereas dads are much more forgiving and ready to support the dads in what that they're going through. A service like this could be advertised by GPs, mental health, maternity services, to encourage more male carers to step into this new world of fatherhood. And this support will help them to avoid the isolation that can lead to depression, especially if they're suffering or at risk of suffering from postnatal depression. We know it's a key factor. The number of men who become depressed in the first year after becoming a dad is double that of the general population. And NCT says 25% of dads experience mild depression in that first year, and 1 in 10 can have a diagnosis of depression in that first year. Almost finished. With more parents taking turns to mind the baby, mums taking 52 weeks of statutory maternity leave could soon become couples taking 37 weeks of shared parental paid leave. And we think that change in the law is coming around. We've had lots of hints to it. 6 weeks looks like the norm. Whether businessmen or politicians want this to happen or not. So we remain hopeful. So just to summarise, alongside flexible working and women earning, a growing number of women earning, we believe that need will soon come for fathers to step up and care for their babies. They just need a little bit more support to get to do this. Any questions?
Errol, can I ask about your perinatal work for dads? I remember speaking to you previously, and you told me that there weren't many perinatal support workers supporting dads. Is that still the case, or do you think has there been more, or has it not really moved?
I started 3 years ago. I was the only perinatal partners peer supporter in the NHS in England. I've checked in Scotland and Wales, and it's not happening. Unless Lisa can tell me different. And a year ago there were 4 of us, and now there's 3, and it's quite worrying because it's seen as a growing area, and an area where a lot more awareness was coming through and understanding of the importance of supporting the partners to be able to support the mums as well and maintain a happy home. And it's not really happening. And I've pushed the word up to the top to say, well, what is this? Have I got it wrong here? I'm still waiting for word to come.
Okay. My understanding is that there's a health board in Scotland who are telling me that they're close to being able to recruit a dad's perinatal support worker. So I hope that that comes out, because I would agree with you that it's a big need for families.
Well, I think for the family, it's important. For the mums in our care, it's important. One challenge that I have, which leaves me pulling teeth, is that, as I just said, men suffer from postnatal depression in the perinatal period, and we're not caring for them. My role is not to care for them; it's to care for the mums in our service, and that's creating incidental support for the partners. So there is no direct service supporting partners. I can see in 5 years' time, I believe that there will be a much broader approach, specifically in England, supporting partners, because once you lift the lid, everything comes out, and we're seeing that there are lots more dads who are suffering from perinatal mental health issues. So we can't ignore that now. And once you've got the stats, it's a lot easier to start the service. When you haven't got the stats, you can't. And now we have the stats.
Right. Anybody else got any questions?
Well, I was just going to ask, you know, with the Facebook, the closed group that you have with that, do you think that has then helped to then get some dads who were more cautious about attending groups? Do you think as a result of kind of knowing about that? I'm just wondering, because that's something I'm really interested in. I'm going to sort of share, because I mean, and it's not just mums and dads. I have a lot, you know, with a lot of parents. Oh, I don't do groups. I don't do groups. You know, and it's sometimes very difficult, isn't it, to get them to know that actually groups are not scary and that they can offer support. But I'm just wondering if that's like a gentle way into that.
Every month we'll get a couple of dads saying, we've got maybe 1,000 dads in the group, in the Facebook group, who are in the private group, and every month we'll get a dad say, I haven't been to an event before, but I'm coming this week. And they have been in the group for 3 months, 6 months, just following us, maintaining, monitoring us, and then saying, okay, I'll come down. It takes months sometimes before people will make the decision. Same in the WhatsApp group. Sometimes the dads sit and watch for so long that you think, you know, should I just pull them out? Are they gaining anything from this? And then they'll turn around and say, oh, hi, I'm John. I'm in the WhatsApp group. I've been there for 3 months, and I went to the first offer play last week, and it's great. What we also do is we remind dads that if they're going for the first time, to give us a shout beforehand, and we'll arrange a buddy for them, so they get a soft landing, so they've got someone to talk to when they're there. They don't see everyone else running around and looking like they're part of something and feeling isolated in a group. If you ask me what the key element for Leeds Dads, I won't say it's a dad's group. I'll say it's supporting, it's a community supporting dads. As much as it's great to have the dads together, I think it's really important to make sure that everyone talks. So our volunteers get the yellow t-shirt, but you only get the yellow t-shirt if you actually go out and talk to people in the group. And for some, that's quite a challenge, and we'll support them through it. But it's important. It's more important for me that it's a dad's group that is connected than it's a dad's group. A lot of points there, Alison. Did I answer your question?
You did, definitely. Yeah, no, I've got loads and loads of thoughts going off myself now. So lots of things that I'm going to share. Yes, that's brilliant. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Una's got her hand up.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for a fantastic talk, Errol. It's just great. I just wondered whether You have,
Wait, Una.
yeah.
What's your favourite biscuit? We don't know.
Oh, ginger nuts.
Ginger nuts, great.
Yep.
Okay,
Thank
go
you.
on, please.
I just wanted, where you've got two dads as the parents, are they included just in the general group, or do you try to do anything different for them?
We talk to them about what we do and how it works, and we ask them if there's anything that they want that's different. And so far, the dads have come in and out. We've had several groups of same-sex dads, and they say no, just do whatever you're doing, and we'll be part of it. It's tricky because you want to make sure that you're not isolating individuals within a group, but at the same time, they don't want to feel isolated either. So it's about finding a way to make them comfortable, and they stayed and they've been on trips with us, and we've had family. At Pride Leeds, there's a family garden in the city centre, and we'll go there. We'll set up there, and we'll connect with other same-sex LGBT plus families, and it's quite relaxed. It's I think the same-sex parents have a greater toleration level, and they put up with more in the wider world. So being in a dad's group, as long as people are obviously polite and straightforward, they're quite happy and they stay.
Thank you, that's great. You're doing a fab job.
We are connected to there's an organisation called Angels of Freedom in Leeds, and they have a family element to their service. It's a LGBT plus support organisation, and they have a family element to their work, and we work alongside them and refer people back and forth. And the fact that they're referring to us makes me think, my gosh, okay, we're doing something right.
Brilliant. Thank you very much. Anybody else got any questions? No? Errol, mate, honestly, thank you so much. That was brilliant. I could listen to you all day. I really do appreciate you taking the time. The work that you do, it was nice to actually get you here. I've been trying to arrange this for a while, but you're a very busy man. So I do appreciate you taking the time. Everybody else that's joined, as always, thank you very much for the continued support.